Well, Chloe, good morning. Or I should say in your time, good morning.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning to you too.
So, what part of Pacific time are you in? Is it California or is it
Yeah, I'm in LA.
nice? That is on my list to visit.
Yeah, well, it's worth it. I mean, I think so at least. I'm kind of biased, but
Yeah, I'm based in Ohio.
yeah, it's one of those things where I never get sick of seeing a sunset. Like you think by now I would, but I've grown up like born and raised here, and I spent a few years in Nashville, going to college there and everything. But every time I'm like still like bewildered.
Nice. If I'm allowed to ask, where did you go to college?
I went to Belmont University in
Nice.
Nashville, Tennessee. So, yeah, studied music business there, and then also really where I began my career, just like as an artist in general. And it was crazy.
It's funny, I just graduated college this year from Columbus College of Art and Design studying in illustration.
That's amazing. I
Mhm.
love that. Columbus is a really cool place. I
It
like
is a very
Columbus.
cool place. Have you performed in Columbus before?
Yes, like outside of Columbus, it was called Porter Wine Vineyard. It was like this vineyard that I played at. It was so cool, and they treated me really well. But yeah, I've been to Columbus quite a few times. It's really cool. Yeah, especially like Worthington's a really cool area.
Are you doing any touring at the moment or are you taking a break?
Right now I'm super focused on getting out the new EP. So I'm basically dropping a new single every month leading up until January. Thank you, thank you. And yes, there will be shows, absolutely. But right now, I mean, I'm not gonna say there isn't, but that would be great. Like I'm gonna manifest a tour, but at the moment there isn't like a tour.
Wait, you froze on my end.
Sorry about that. That was bizarre.
It was. So you were saying you actually paused in the middle of the interview. So what exactly were you saying about Manifest?
Oh, I am definitely manifesting touring because it's been like a goal of mine to meet the people that have been fans since like 2014. And obviously, like you get new fans all the time and it's super exciting. But, I've had some die-hard fans since I first started. And like that's crazy. I was like a teenager. So it would be really cool to finally get to like meet those people.
It's funny. I'm going through the same way as well. Like, I mean, you're meeting people that you remember when you were 14 and have grew up with at that age. It's funny because I'm actually now meeting people from two genres, the
Mhm.
Scream franchise and also A Christmas Story.
Ooh, that's cool.
Mhm. Yeah,
Well,
literally, I never thought I would be making connections to people from the Scream franchise, but apparently I am.
yeah, here you are. I feel like I could ask you like a million questions just like about what you've done too. I just think you're like a fascinating story and like I don't know, this whole podcast is really cool. The cartoons, I love
Thank
it.
you. I'm at Slapstick and I illustrate for the
Cool.
magazines.
No way. I love that. That is so cool.
But yeah, anyhow, so what inspired you to become a musician?
So I would say it's something that I've always felt very called to do. It's music in general, singing, um, being understanding songs that I probably shouldn't have or most kids wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I felt like I just have always had this really strong connection with music. And it was something that I started writing songs around 6 years old. Um, Mainly again like for fun, to make my sister laugh, to help me fall asleep at night. Like my dad was a songwriter too, so he was always making up songs around the house. So it was kind of just like always there. And then it wasn't until I was like 11 that it became really like, excuse me, profound to me that it's what I needed to do. I got really sick as a kid, and it was the one thing that like made me feel connected to other people when I was so isolated. It was the one tool that I used to be able to process everything. And it was just like it's one of those things where you're just like naturally drawn to it. Like it was like a magnet. It was the first thing I thought of to do. And I've always been a creative writer. Like I would write, I remember like little novels in like fourth grade, like making up stories. And so I've always loved creative writing, always loved writing poetry. Again, always was singing, but I was never the kid either who was like singing at the, the state fairs. I always say I was like never that kid. It was like the talent show once a year, and I did like school choir, and I sang around my house and in my bedroom. Like I was not like center of attention, I guess. um, and yeah, and then I got a Facebook page when I was 11 and or 12, probably 12, but I started like really teaching myself guitar and writing at 11, and started posting them on Facebook. And I'd go to school, and my friends would tell me that they really related to my music, and that was crazy. So I think when that happened, I was like, well, there's other people that feel understood too when they hear my music. Like that's something I've got to like continue doing. So it's something, again, it's like I've always known, even like in third grade, they're like, what do you want to be? And I drew a picture of Britney Spears. Like, so it's like I knew, but that's, I feel like when the true calling kind of made itself known, when I realized, oh, you can help other people just like it's been helping you.
So speaking of creative writing, have you ever thought about writing a novel someday? You ever thought
Oh,
about
yeah.
writing a novel, getting that? And would you go for self-publishing or publishing?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think either. Obviously it would be really cool to have, a publisher on board for a book that I write or series or something. But I think I'm all about the mindset of like, don't you don't have to rely on somebody else to like make your creative dreams come true. Like you can do it. It just might look a little bit different, or the process might be a little bit different, but yeah, I would think I definitely want to. Like it's something that I've actually had like on post-it notes like of goals that I have. Like I would love to write a novel, whether it's fiction or not, like 100%.
It's funny because we have two books coming out next year. We have a screenplay book called Orlando Monster, and then we have a comic book called Night at North Pole.
Nice. I also really want to write a children's book. Um,
Me too.
yeah, like that's a goal. Yeah, I might need to hit you up for some illustrations.
Yes, please.
I'm not kidding. Yeah, that's a real goal of mine, and I already have the idea. My boyfriend and I came up with it. We're like ready to go. We're like, let's do this. So
Okay, you don't know how long I have waited to collaborate with someone on a children's book because I've been waiting for such a long time. It's funny because Katherine Schwarzenegger was supposed to come on.
wow.
It was either last week or the week before, but
Yeah,
she never attended, sadly. We don't know
right.
why, but she never attended. And
Mhm.
I was going to ask her if you ever need like an illustrator for your next children's book, please count me in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I love connecting with people that are other creatives because it's so fun just to see what can happen. So yeah, you never know. I'm open-minded.
And most important question for people who want to go into music and creative writing, what is the best advice that you would pass on to those future artists?
Ooh, I would say never. I mean, really try and spend some time just like with yourself. I know it sounds like ridiculous, but like get out in nature by yourself, take long walks with or without music, like spend time really trying to like figure out who you are, what you're feeling, and then just write it. And I know that sounds so simple to say, but one of my favorite teachers growing up, and why I think I became even more drawn to writing and songwriting at 11, 12 years old was because he was my seventh grade English teacher, and we'd go in every day and he would just have us free write. He did not care about spelling, he didn't care about grammar, it was not about that. He didn't care if the sentence even made sense, it could be a run on. It was literally like just get yourself to be able to like put pen to paper without any blocks. Like he's like, I don't care if you tell me about the drama in your friend group at lunchtime. Like whatever it is, just like start writing. And I would say like getting people used to doing that is so important because we start to like second guess our own creative decisions and authenticity, and especially with social media we start comparing ourselves and this is working for Billie Eilish, so this is what I should be doing, and throwing our truth like out the window sometimes, and there's nothing wrong, of course, with being inspired. I'm inspired by a lot of artists and I reference them, but as far as like the core of who you are and what you have to say, only that.
I get it. It's funny because I went through that this summer as well. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do, and then after taking the Vancouver and Alaskan cruise, I finally figured out, oh, now I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
And
Why that?
and I also had it, like we were saying, you had a special teacher and also mentor. I had a teacher as well in college. His name was Professor Bentol, and this is a special shout out to him for teaching me and making me the person that I am today. And he was a great teacher, great mentor, and also a great friend.
Oh, I love that so much. I think it's so important when you have a teacher like that. It really is like, I don't know, just I mean, it doesn't have to be a teacher. It could be a parent. It could be somebody else. But like the fact that you have somebody else out there that's encouraging you to be you is just amazing.
And last question, what was your favorite retro product growing up? It could be the 90s, early 2000s. It could be
Ooh.
film, TV.
Okay. By product, do you mean like a toy or
It could be that.
records?
It could be toy. It could be a record player. It could be records. It could be anything retro related.
Oh gosh, my favorite retro thing growing up. I'm like an old soul, so can it be like a specific album? Okay, I'm gonna say, I would say Fleetwood Mac Rumors, that record.
That's a good one.
Record,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I grew up listening to like a lot of old classics. Frank Sinatra, like yeah, and then like not music related, I gotta say my Easy Bake Oven, obviously.
My younger cousin had an Easy Bake Oven. I don't know if she still has it, but she had one. And okay, here's what I don't get about Easy Bake Oven is I've heard the baking tastes really, really bad. I mean, how do you handle that?
I mean, when you're like 5 years old, it's sugar and like flour. So you're like, this tastes pretty good. It's sweet, Like it was funny. I remember my best friend in high school, we decided to get one from like a garage sale because it was like really cheap. And we decided to like make it. And I don't know. I don't know how we felt about it. It was like, okay.
Well, let's just pray the batter wasn't 30 years old.
Yeah, that's true. Or the product itself. It
It's
probably
like when you said Easy Bake Oven, you also threw me back to an episode of Seinfeld where
was.
it's Jerry, George, and Elaine. Elaine is cooking in an Easy Bake Oven. She's like, "Who wants cupcakes? Me." And then Jerry's like, that batter's 30 years old.
It honestly probably was. I'm surprised I'm still here, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for joining today's episode. It's been great meeting you.
Yeah, great meeting you as well. Thank you for having me.
This question was not listed, but I do have a California question.
Oh yeah, hit me.
Have you been to Disneyland?
Oh yeah, multiple times. And I just went to Disney World for the first time last September. And that was a wild experience. A
Love
lot.
Disney World. I've been to Disney World many times, but never been to Disneyland. And mainly want to see the Marvel campus, the Avengers
Oh,
campus.
yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie about it. We went to like some bar too that apparently I don't know, it takes like forever to even get a reservation at to get like one of
I
the Star
imagine.
Wars drinks or something. And it like makes your whole mouth numb. It was weird. It was weird. And then I almost got struck by lightning at Disney
Oh,
World.
jeez.
Yeah, it was eventful, but fun.
Okay, and both Marvel and Star Wars exhibit, what characters did you get to meet?
I don't think I met any of them, to be honest with you, because it was also crazy. Like, oh wait, that's a lie. I met Darth Vader And it was so funny because my boyfriend and then his best friend were there too. And I was the only girl on this trip, and they were seriously like starstruck. And like my boyfriend doesn't get starstruck by like any like celebrities, like nothing like that. But like I'm not kidding you, like they were like it was like their whole childhood, like and I'm like, it's like actually an actor, right? Like some dude in like his 40s living like in an
Yeah.
apartment in Orlando, like but like he's like just stunned.
You know, it's funny because I say to my parents that because my dad loves the character Mary Poppins, and he doesn't care if it's a person dressed in a costume. He's still gonna meet the character because that's his favorite character. And it's funny because I'm the same way because like a character that you cannot find in Disney World sadly, but you can only find in Disneyland California
Yeah.
is the Scarlet Witch. I mean, even though it's just a random cast member dressed in a costume, I mean, I would still just want to meet it because, and personally, I have such a huge crush on Scarlet Witch, so I would just do anything to meet the character.
That's funny. I didn't know that that was only at Disneyland.
Yeah, it's only I'm like, what? Why is Disney World not going to open Marvel? They have Star Wars, yes, but they're not going to open Marvel.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I don't
Yeah,
know. I know that they're expanding like the Haunted Mansion though. Since that movie came out, they're doing like a whole Haunted Mansion like land, I guess.
interesting.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's funny because I mean, I even one of my earliest jobs I had, I used to work with a person who actually, not even kidding, looked a lot like Scarlet Witch, but I didn't realize it until later on. And it's
That's
like, oh my, no, no, no.
you're like, this is why I'm drawn to you.
Well, I guess you could say they both had two similar features. They were 5'6" and had big red hair.
There you go. Love it. Yeah.
Well, Chloe, it was great to meet you, and look forward to collaborating at some point.
Yeah, we'll do that children's book, definitely.
Yes.
And yeah, everybody go listen to my new single Boyish because it just came out. Sweet, thank you.